Collective Rahuba, Rahuba, Rahuba. Hopefully, we are feeling very well. As always, free Dr. Malachi York. He's coming home, the master teacher. Thank you all so much for being here. First of all, for all the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, everything. Whether the donations are energetic or financial, the hype, just to support. Um, I'm glad to see that I'm finally getting back out in the algorithm. A lot of subscribers haven't seen my videos in a minute, and we love the algorithm. So that's kind of healing itself. I don't know why it broke. Well, I mean, we know why it broke. Let's just be real. I fucking broke the algorithm when it came to tarot on my channel for a huge second for just nonstop, everyday spewing fact after fact, answering questions, going live for several hours a day, asking, answering questions and talking about things. It kind of fucked up the algorithm because they didn't know where to put me in entertainment or education. And tarot is listed under entertainment, and I'm listed under education. So they didn't know what to do. So now they're finally figuring it out. Like, oh, you're part of this now. And they're like, yeah, you can just slide me in this slot here so I can start being seen. But all that's working out. Continue to do support. The research I do in the background takes up a lot of time, which is why sometimes uploads don't happen until later, or sometimes uploads don't happen at all. I spend the majority of my day literally just researching, either studying the cards or literally sitting with elements. Yesterday I was lighting Palo Santo and just watching the flame burn and meditating on that and relating with how that relates to the element of fire when it comes to tarot. I'm doing all sorts of these things in the background. So thank you for the patience and the support. I'm putting a lot of time and energy into this. So thank you so much for being here and walking with me on this path. Without further ado, though, we will be jumping into the reading. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see it. Virgo and Venus, seeing the beauty in everything. Seeing the beauty not just in everything, but in your craft, in what you have created, in what you have even attracted, despite the speed of it, despite if it is a thing that you've attracted on the spiritual to yourself or something you've attracted on the physical. You need to be in that balanced middle ground state of seeing the beauty in both. The beauty in how the unknown and the invisible will fill you with a fire, fill you with a feeling of the fuel that will allow you to create the unbelievable, the unstoppable, to move mountains and to truly get over any obstacle. And the fact that even though it might be treacherous on the physical, you will be connecting yourself more, not only just with the divine, but with yourself and how you wish to truly move forward with your true integral soul peace. With 9, this is that completion, the test on the physical. Can what you are trying to do last on the physical? Not in the sense of it being like monetary, or can it survive in the sense of like, oh, is it not going to fail? But can it survive in the sense of love? Can you see the beauty in what you do so that you no longer need any other form of benefit to push you to do your craft? Or are you still looking for some form of benefit? Whether this is with the relationship and that benefit is of monetary or physical or status or however, or this is, just you creating a business, starting up something, however, continuing something, be sure to see the beauty in it when you're working on it so that you don't forget the why or the reasoning. A lot of people forget the why or the reasoning and they're like, well, I don't remember how. Well, if you don't know how to remember the reasoning, this is how. See the beauty in it. Why did you do it in the first place? Why, going back to the root of what you seen when you first had that idea. Going back that far will give you that spark again, because that spark is still there. It just needs to be kindled. We have the Nine of Cups. After that, it was kind of interesting. Nine of Cups no, it's not. It's Pisces and Scorpio, but it's in reverse. So there's some form of failed wish. Like the Nine of Cups is the genie in the bottle card. It talks about that wish completion in the sense of feeling form. You might not have some form of completed feeling, or when I do this, it's gonna feel, I'm gonna feel great. Your feeling didn't, or excuse me, the expectation that you had on the physical did not match up to how you were feeling internally, and that might have been causing some sort of drainage. Oh, I thought they were gonna do something by now. or just a lack of impatience, or I really thought that this was gonna be a thing. I was really thinking that this was gonna work, however, but you're looking at it from a false sense, from an improper feeling, from a feeling of a lack rather than a feeling of what you've done and what you've gained. You might have gained knowledge that you just overlooked. All these small things that add up to that grand feeling that you felt are important to take note of, and make sure that you accomplish them. um, so if you are having issues with moving forward on the physical, like, oh, I really want to do this, I really want to create this, I really want to go connect with this person, there's a feeling that you have. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve it, or that you're not ready. And it's something that you are pushing yourself too hard to do. You're not really seeing the beauty in being new or being shy to something. It's like you push it as like, oh, I can't be shy if I do this. I can't act like I don't know what I can't act like I'm new when I'm doing this, because if I do, then it's going to make me look stupid. No, give yourself that, be humble with yourself, give yourself that humility, and really see that even if you don't feel as if you are ready, you do know and you do see the beauty of what will happen if you continue forward on this path, if you continue forward with walking this journey. Even if it doesn't work out, even if something is not going to work out, you almost not even well, you almost want to play the game, in the sense to reap the reward of wisdom, or reap that reward of seeing the full reasoning and learning that lesson, seeing that beauty. But it's also kind of, you're wanting to really re-gauge how or what even puts you in. Did your intentions like sort of changed, and that's why that feeling's not incorporated anymore? Or are you doing it in the sense of like, I shouldn't, maybe I can't do this because yada yada yada, you're holding your titles too tight. But again, these titles are just illusions that you put on yourself. They're spells that you put on yourself, where you believe that you have to be held in some sort of higher stature, when in reality you don't, and you're not. And that's like that sort of correlation that you have to make with yourself with, oh, if you're getting embarrassed about doing something, you have to kind of ego check and humble yourself and be like, hey, even though yes, it's important, my execution is going to be perfect with it. And even if it doesn't work out, at least I did it. At least I was able to push myself past the limit and move forward. And giving yourself that grace, giving yourself that resilience to rely on. You have strength with Leo, and this is again that solid flame. You're needing to get into that position. And we have 9, and then we have 8, which is really funny, because this is again that test, this is that completion. You are being molded in the final form of what's kind of keeping you held back, which is these feelings. And these feelings, due to there being no sword, and with how it's kind of being out with all this fire, it's not based off of thoughts, but it's based off of your morals. It seems as if you are afraid to to go forward and do something because you're afraid of how you're going to be seen outward. Is your beauty going to be tampered with by your actions externally? Are you damning yourself from what you are being presented to experience? All these things that you really have to kind of gauge and ask yourself. You're not really seeing the benefit. You're only seeing the lack of it. It might be causing your nervous system to go in shock and overload. It might be causing you just to have lack of sleep. However, but you need to gain this control over the mind, to where you stop thinking that these feelings that you have towards certain things or certain people or certain agendas are making you lesser of who you already are, or making you grander of who you are. In actuality, it's doing neither. It's just making you more full of who you are. It's making you more complete, more whole. And with the high priestess being here with Pisces energy, this is kind of what you're needing to do with the cups, even is seeing that higher wisdom. But not only seeing it, but moving forward with the high priestess. Not only knows the rules, but does not speak them. She has the vow, the feminine has the vow to know all the answers, but to speak none. You have to know how to ask. You have to know how to ask a question. And with the high priestess in her abode, she knows that you will come to her. The heart space knows you will come to it in times of dire need. But it's up to you to allow the heart to act as the victory over the animalistic mind, so that you're not feeling like all your things are a lack or a destruction, or feeling like you're low on luck or low on chance, and really start to see the beauty in what you're going through. You might be doing something, and the beauty might even just be a realization of you're doing the same cycle over again, but you're not seeing it because you've been doing it a different way. That beauty will strike you in different ways. Beauty does different things to different people, and it's up to you to allow the beauty of whatever's being around you to present itself to you. We have the Ten of Pentacles upright, which is interesting to see. But doing this, Virgo and Mercury, once you begin to communicate with yourself in the sense of connecting with that heart space, connecting with your your creative will, your creative force of will, excuse me, you'll be able to make it to that next level that you're wanting to. You'll be able to make it to that external physical completion that you've been desiring, with all aspects being balanced. You know, you have the two dogs, and the dogs are calm. They're settled. The king is sitting by himself, and everyone else is talking. You know, he's sitting in the in the vineyard. It's just the story of that full completion of the physical, where you've finally been able to move forward due to the fact of you seeing that beauty. It's almost even like an Eight of Swords, I would even say. It hasn't came out yet, but I would even say it's like an Eight of Swords for like a one card pull, because it would be you just stuck in your mind not seeing that nurturing being beauty. But the Eight of Swords is Gemini and Jupiter, so it's relying more on that, seeing it for a benefit rather than that beauty. But here it's more of that beauty, because instead of it being in the mind, seeing the benefit, you're seeing it on the physical, and that's where that beauty is coming from. All in all, though, with the Two of Cups, there is need to connect back together. Cancer and Venus, you're needing to see the beauty in the heart space, the beauty back in the feminine, the beauty in being connected and whole. 180-degree agreeable, 180-degree disagreeable, to make up the entire 360 complete whole being of you. You cannot disregard the disagreeable side of you, but you do not have to agree to disagree. You can agree to agree and move on. You don't have to disagree, because when you agree to disagree, you disagree. When you agree to disagree, when you agree to disagree, you ruin the plan. But when you agree to agree, things grow. The heart doesn't change. It's always going to agree. It's up to you and how you're seeing things externally in that connection point that changes that sort of paradigm around. But that takes you action. You need to go back to your heart space. How do you do that? That doesn't necessarily mean meditation. That doesn't necessarily mean doing all these seances and rituals, but just do things that enlighten your heart. Ask yourself what's heavy on your heart. What do you most desire to do right now? What gives you the most feeling that makes you want to move forward? That's what's weighing heaviest on your heart, because it has the most. And when you have all of that energy, all of that pressure, that's when you need to move, not sporadically on other things, but with the one thing in mind, so that your pure intentions that are feeling that heart space, when they become external, the plan is executed with that beauty, with that grace, rather than the logic and rationality of the mind. With the Hangman inverted water, that's what needs to happen. These feelings need to be traversed. Six of Swords inverted energy. You're not really moving through the order of your thoughts. You're not really seeing how they're coming along or how they're even there, and that's causing a lot of these issues. With the Magician. But after you realize and you see where these sort of rocky waters are coming from, where you're restricted at, what restricts you, and how you're allowing that restriction to nurture you, or how you're moving forward with that restriction, then you will be able to see how to gauge and to draw things from above to below. When you have that full celestial bridge connected and attached to self, and you'll be able to attract and generate all you desire. But you need to see what's causing these shaky waters. Is it a moral compass thing that you just simply need to talk to yourself about so you don't feel so bad? Is it an arc of jealousy that has resided in you for so long that has become a blockage to a point where you don't even realize it. An irrational anger towards things, an irrational anger towards things is what will bring that upon. Or even a rational anger at things where you break things down so much and it gets you mad. That will explain what this hardened core is that's keeping you from moving forward and truly breaking the spell or the illusion that's keeping you from seeing the beauty of things. This is something that you're going to have to practice and work with. It's not going to be something that's done immediately with the Page of Swords. This is that cusp. But the magician, I forgot to mention, the magician is not only Aries, but it's also the element of air. And why is it the element of air? Because it is the element of spirit. It is one. It is when spirit becomes out from the invisible and begins to turn into that pyre. Before it can become that creative idea, it has the stage of three. From the invisible, from mother to pyre being that pure fuel that it needs to be before it can enter your heart space, to then fuel you. And then, that's how it moves forward. But with this Page of Swords being the cusp between Libra and Aquarius, it's saying that this air energy, this spirit, or however you are channeling the events around you, I'll say it that way, it's not being thought through very well, which is what's causing a lot of these sort of issues. You're not thinking properly. You're not using your thoughts to see if what you're thinking of is true. You're just using your thoughts to build on upon things. And the way you're going to fix that is funny enough with the Page of Cups, listening to your feelings. Cancer, Scorpio cusp. And you need to listen to that feeling. You need to listen to the fish. Those waters are a little bit shaky in the background, but they're still calm. The fish is speaking to you. You're learning how to move with feeling. You're learning how to move with your heart in this new energy, not because it's another test you have to take over, but because every time you do something in this world, it is always going to be a learning experience. And this is what you need to do. The final card is the Ace of Wands, which is all of the fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it is simply just saying that once you go back and fix this feeling inside of you, you will see how beautiful that idea you had truly is and how healing it really is for you. But first, you need to see the beauty in it. Stop seeing the fear in it. Stop buying into the dogma of thinking that everything is intense and scary rather than excitement. Learn how to feel excitement when it's unknown. Learn how to feel excitement when it feels like fear. Learn how that feeling operates and get that scale and balance. See the beauty and the intenseness of the feeling that you're feeling, so that you can create with it what you're desiring, rather than being in a push and pull situation where you're not moving forward, but you're also not moving back. Regardless, though, that is the reading. Thank you all so much for being here and for supporting me again. As always, free Dr. Malachi York, the master teacher. He will be coming home. His books are in the description. If you have any questions about him or books or recommendations or anything of that nature, or even the language of any sort, email me. I'll do my best to answer, especially for the language. Still learning the language, but I will do my best to answer. I have the resources with me, so I'll do my research and get to you. Regardless, if you're interested in any of my services, whether it's readings, books, healing services, magic, sigils, activations, meditations, anything of that nature, email me. I can do a plethora of things. Just if you're curious, email me. There's too many things for me to even mention. And at the end of the day, if you've been walking with me, or even if you've got my services, you already know. I don't have to sit here and tell, but if you are looking for someone who is true and actually authentic in what they do for healing, I am one of those people. I don't do it for shits and giggles. I literally have so many resources all over my channel, playlists and everything revolving around healing and teaching. It's not something I do lightly. It's not something that I just, do for whatever. It's something that I do because it means a lot to me. And I truly do love and encourage others to educate and to educate people. But thank you all for being here. Truly, I love each and every one of you to all limits, whether they are known or unknown. Please have a beautiful rising, a beautiful day, a beautiful afternoon, shadow hour, however, where it is where you are. I love you so much. Thank you all again for all the support. Hadis Ashag Wu Adu.